All right. So please tell us your name. It's a very flattering face to start.
Are you ready? Are we starting?
Yep.
Okay. What?
So please tell us your name and your position here.
Nina James. I'm Nina James, and I'm the Special Projects Director here at FM 99 and 106.9 Fox.
So how long have you worked for this company?
It's been 11 years.
Okay. What has made you stay for the last 11 years?
Well, believe it or not, I didn't. So I left after being here for 4 years to grow my media career and try. This was my first media sales job, and I was still young, so I was still trying to figure it out and figure out my career path and all that stuff. So I actually left and I went into network television and ultimately cable, but then I felt the call of radio again, and I was offered a really great position in management as national sales manager for a different radio group, and I actually moved to pursue that position, and then ultimately, long story short, had to come back here, move back here, and found my way back here at my alma mater.
So what company benefits would entice you to consider another company? And just to go off on a limb, it sounds like there have been opportunities that have arose. So what were some of the things that enticed you to step away from radio for that brief moment, or made you want to step away for that brief moment that you did, and even going into network television, and then what brought you back?
So, all right, well, so when I went to network television, it was quite the different selling experience than selling radio, and it just was not a good fit for me. It's a little bit of a slower pace. It's a less, you don't get as much flexibility with what you can do. Basically, you can sell airtime, but you can't do promotions, and it just wasn't a good fit for me. And but of course, I couldn't know that until I did it. So anyway, when the opportunity came to move into management in a radio group, I did, because that's the next step up. You move into management, and so it wasn't a difficult choice to come back into radio. It was definitely a management position, though, that took me away from television, cable, actually.
Okay. So you kind of just answered the next question with why broadcast, why radio. When you first took this job here at FM 99, 106.9 The Fox, what was it that brought you into this industry?
So actually, I kind of lucked into it. I had been working at another radio group in the promotions department, and that was while I was in college, and so it was kind of a natural thing to continue that career in radio. But I will tell you, when other people ask me, about they're thinking about coming into radio and da da da, these are some of the things that I tell them that are those intangibles. Yes, you can come and you sell advertising, you make money, and that's how you pay your bills and whatever, but you get to do other cool things. There's other really cool things about radio. When you're selling, you're meeting with your community's decision makers, and you get a chance to be in the know at the top of your community about what's going on with businesses, with events. You get a lot of exposure to that stuff, and you get invitations to things that you normally wouldn't get if you were in a manufacturing job or whatever. So that is a big thing, a big benefit, I think, of working in radio, and why it's a lot of fun. And of course, things like concert tickets and meeting artists and doing just fun, different stuff. You just get opportunities that you just wouldn't otherwise. Did that answer the question?
Yes.
Okay.
What, if anything, has ever prompted you to leave your job or look into other opportunities? We did kind of go over this a little bit already too, but
Yeah, it was definitely, at that time, it was moving into the management position, and and that was more money too, moving from AE into management. I mean, it was still a sales position, really. But that's why I made a move then, but to go back into radio. But why I left to start with was I just didn't know. so you just don't know what you had until you don't have it anymore. And I was just very lucky that I was able to figure that out and see what was good for me and what wasn't. And then I had a great opportunity to move back into radio. So, it's all good, and I totally wouldn't change it now for anything. I'm glad I did those other things and found out what worked and what didn't for me. And but now I love radio.
Yay! One more question. So if you were to, like someone like me that's still new to the radio industry, the broadcast industry, if there's anything that you, like a piece of advice to keep me here, if I were going out on a limb, millennials are known for being job hoppers, trying to find the next best thing, and we want to retain some of them here in our industry. Is there anything that you would say to me if I were trying to scoot away and look for opportunities elsewhere?
So in radio in general. So I would mention some of those things. Again, you work your job and that's what you do, and that's what you get paid to do. But the other additional things, you don't get to have those everywhere else. You don't get to have relatively easy access to the people who make mark in your community, to people who are the movers and the shakers, so to speak. You don't get that, and you don't get the unique experiences working other jobs that you get simply because you work at the radio station. You work in radio. I've got a client who has other business, and I got to go to the grand opening of an Embassy Suites in Wilmington, North Carolina. It was beautiful, and lots of people didn't get that invitation. And so who would have figured that ever would have come my way? So anyway, experiences like that, and just the chance to have a ton of fun. Mm-hmm. Network television, cable television, they all have cool things, but they're just not as fun to me as working in radio, and that's all.
Perfect.